What's up, dudes and dudettes of the internet? My name's Scythe, and we've got some good news and some very, very bad news. One step forward, two steps back. That's the Trine World's way, right? Now, hopefully something is going to end up breaking out of just making this video here. Of course, there is going to be some positive things, and I myself am a very optimistic person, so I am trying to look at the positive in this. But needless to say, there are some big changes coming to Trove that are really going to impact the game in a very, very negative light, I think. Now, before we get into any of that, we will of course talk about the positive things, and I do want to give a heads up that we are on the test server right now, not the live server, so some of this stuff is subject to change, and boy howdy, I really do hope that it does end up changing. So needless to say, I made a video a couple days back that the devs ended up talking about chaos chests becoming untradeable. Now, I do want to confirm that any chaos chests that you have in your inventory right now, you don't have to worry. Those are going to remain tradable, including all of your gold chaos chests as well. Those are all going to be tradable chests, right? Now, any other chaos chests that you get from beyond that point, this patch is supposed to hit in 2 weeks, so get everything prepared before then. But needless to say, any new chaos chests coming into the game are going to be untradeable. And every mount out of those chests is going to be untradeable, including any of the mounts and items that are in the tradable chaos chests are also going to be untradeable. The downfall of Trove begins, and I'm not even getting started yet. Now, first of all, like I said, let's talk about the positive here. So the big positive thing is this is the Chaos Crafter. I mentioned this before, but I'll mention it again. There are going to be these new items that you can get out of the Chaos Chest. Where's one of them right now? I don't seem to see one in my inventory. Rip me, I'm blind. Needless to say, it's called a Chaos Core. You're going to get those as an uncommon drop out of the Chaos Chest, or you come over to the Loot Collector and you can... Okay... or you could end up breaking down an item out of the chaos chest for 3 chaos cores, right? So let's just break down this neon light cycle, whatever, just whatever. And then if we come back over here, this is where things get very, very cool. Classes for free! Finally, the devs have finally listened to our demands and made it so that the classes are going to be free, craftable, and very, very accessible. These are all of the starting characters that you can end up choosing when you start a new file on Trove, right? All of these guys are going to, of course, you know, both of these items that are required are going to cost differently, but the fact of the matter is that it's going to cost 1 Chaos Core and 1,000 flux. Now, that is fantastic. A little bit of a golf clap here for the devs for finally catching on, even after 90% of the community ended up quitting. And then there's going to be the advanced classes. I would never consider the Fae to be an advanced character, nor would I consider any characters in this game to be advanced. I could understand the Shadow Hunter because, you know, he's got the shadow marking and stuff like that, but it's not really complex or anything. But these guys are going to be a little bit more expensive. They're going to be 25,000 flux, and whatever other resources they cost is going to be considerably more. So these are going to be something that I still think that this is fantastic. I still think it's great. I think as far as new players are concerned, this gives them something to work towards, you know, and makes them kind of consider the decision of the next class that they want to get a little bit more. And of course, the Chaos Cores are going to go up, and you're going to need 3 of them. So if you end up getting a rare mount of a Chaos Chest or something, you can just break that down, and then you could end up getting one of the advanced classes. I myself already have all the classes, so that's fine. I don't need it. But still, it's very, very cool that they ended up doing this. It really, really is. The icons on these are a little bit stretched and weird, honestly. I think it would be nicer if they had a different icon for them. I also have always thought it was very strange that the Lunar Lancer is the only character that actually has an icon behind him. I think all the characters should have an icon. The Knight, for example, should have a knight helmet behind him. But anyways, that's just me. Now, this is where things get really, really bad. So, you remember I was talking about recently, if you're just tuning in, I was talking about this recently, and I've thought about it for a very long time, but only mentioned it recently in videos, is that the Chaos Chests are getting way too cluttered. Almost every new mount that they end up adding to the game, they just throw those right into the Chaos Chest, and suddenly we've got 5 million different mounts that we can't get because the Chaos Chest rotates the prizes every week, right? So what they're going to do to offset that is make it so that all of the mounts that are added to the Chaos Chest are craftable. This is good, but it's a very lazy method, you know? Kind of saw this coming because this is just kind of how Trove devs end up working, but whatever. Now, a lot of the crafting recipes recipes for these are subject to change. You can see this one right here actually only has Chaos Cores and Flux, which I would love to see that for all of these. But if you end up going to the other one right here, like Wild Cupcake 700, that's pretty crazy considering how ugly this mount is and how nobody actually wants it, right? But the fact of the matter is that I think this Echo Wave Cycle actually doesn't have its crafting recipe set up yet. I'm assuming it's going to take robotic salvage, or there's just simply put going to be certain mounts that will only cost the core and the flux. I think all of them should cost the cores and the flux. Now, 10 cores. That's pretty steep, because that means you're going to have to loot collect a couple different mounts in order to even get the amount of cores. Now, of course, you can rarely get 5 chaos cores out of a chaos chest. You can also end up just getting one of them as an uncommon, so it's not too bad. It's okay. But 50,000 flux, that's a bit of a pretty steep trade-off for a lot of these. This mount, I know for sure, I haven't checked the prices recently, but I know for sure this thing is like, what, under 30,000 that you can buy it on the live server right now, because it's completely disgusting. Nobody actually wants this mount, and that's the one thing that I think is the biggest problem. I am okay with this new system. I really, really am. But I do not agree with the fact that the devs kind of just lazily tacked on a universal price tag for most of these, not actually going out of their way to look in the game market that they created themselves and find out, okay, what's the value of these? We should put the lowest value items at the start and make it so that they're very, very easy to craft, and the rarer items that people really, really covet and really, really want, they should be a lot more expensive, like the Torch Taurus or the Tundra Tunderer. You know, these guys are something that people really, really want. Now, this is where things get a little bit interesting, but a little bit worse. We're not done yet. Costumes. Yeah, I know, you're sitting here thinking that's awesome, because it means that we can actually get costumes for free without having to spend money on mystery costume boxes. Now, the one thing that's lazy about this is that none of these costumes have any video effects. They're all just going to have the default standard video effects. They're not going to have anything unique. Extremely lazy, honestly speaking, especially considering some of these costumes actually, as a mod, have video effects, and it looks really, really swag, right? So that's pretty lazy. I don't really approve of that one, especially considering the price of them, because 100,000 flux for a costume that is probably not even gonna look that good. And I don't mean anything towards the modder themselves. These costumes are actually fantastic. I've seen most of them. Even our boy B Yellow ended up getting his Atmos costume into the game, which is awesome. It really, really is. But the fact that it doesn't have video effects, to me, lower that price tag to about 75K or lower. I mean, I know that they're craftable, but still, it's not really worth it. And Super Magical, I can tell you right now, I just went on the live server, and Super Magical does not sell for 200K. It is one of the most ugliest costumes in the game. Nobody likes it, and it sells for 55,000 flux, not 200,000, let alone 25 Chaos Cores? I don't approve. Like, this is just a ripoff, you know? Most of these costumes are going to be, unfortunately, because in order to even craft all of these for end gamers like myself, these are 100,000 each. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, a mil already. 1, 2, 3, 1.3 mil just to get all these costumes. I don't have that kind of flux messing around just right now, especially if they're going to make everything untradeable. That's the big one. That's where it's going to ruin the game community unless they end up finding an alternative and finding it quick, because otherwise there's not going to be any way of earning flux anymore, devs. That's the big problem. Even if we go to the premium collectibles, look at this. 25 Chaos Cores and 200,000 for these leafy wings. Nobody likes these wings. 200,000? I don't think so, devs. The only reason people would even spend that type of money on them on the live server is if nobody's selling them and some freak is just forcing up the price, not because it's something that they actually want. Even Squeakers, 200,000, I'm pretty sure he sells for under 100K. Last time I checked, it was 80K. Don't quote me on that, because it's been a long time since I actually looked at little old Squeakers there, but still, that is just no. That is just bad, devs. That's bad. Now, again, we can end up opening Chaos Chests and getting all this stuff, and at the least, you know, you're going to be able to get lots of cores so long as you pay to win and buy all the Chaos Chests. But honestly speaking, if you're not going to... What the... That's a weird thing. If you're not going to be able to get any of any of these items, if you're not going to be able to sell them, that, honestly speaking, I think, wouldn't that be less incentive for people that are pay to win? Because they're not going to be able to sell any of the chaos chests anymore for flux. You know, and I can confirm as well that the mounts and everything that you actually craft out of this are untradeable as well. I ended up crafting this Karen cupcake right here and cannot be traded. So that's, you know, take it as you will, folks. Honestly speaking, I think it's going to be really, really bad, but I've been playing this game for a very long time, so maybe my image of what this game's direction should be is a little bit warped. But, oh yeah, like even they're saying it right there. Squeakers is actually 40,000 flux on the live server, so get it together, devs. Like, seriously, this is terrible. It really, really is. And especially, here's the biggest thing, guys and gals, that I didn't want to say, but I kind of have to. Devs don't seem to realize how much this is going to impact this game because of how much it's going to impact YouTubers and content creators, because suddenly I have no more tradable prizes, and it means that I can't get prizes from people. Think about that one, devs, before you end up putting this stupid thing into the game. Like, seriously, it's just, this is the dumbest decision they've ever made. I don't care. I know I'm getting a little bit deep here, but really, I do not approve of this one. The ScythePlays does not approve. And I'm an optimistic, positive guy. Like, seriously, I don't approve of this one. But anyway, let me know what you all think in the comments below, everybody. Do you think this is good? You think this is bad? You think that this is overall going to affect the community in a more positive light that maybe I just don't see? You know? Am I being too greedy? Maybe as a content creator giving away these prizes and stuff like that, maybe it affects me more than it's going to affect all of you. You know, let me know. I would be very curious to see, because if this is something that's going to end up helping the overall community, then I'm all for it. Even if I don't necessarily approve of it, I am always all for what is going to affect everybody positively over little old me. But anyways, thank you so much for watching, folks. I could rant about this on and on. I very much appreciate you watching, though, and would also appreciate you to like, share, favorite, and subscribe for more daily content. Sayonara and stay epic, everybody.